Hello everybody, Dr. John here and welcome to this product review. Now the product that we're going to be reviewing today is the Underdog Orthopedic Bed System. So now let's have a look at what the bed looks like when it turns up in the box. So when you order your bed and it comes in the mail, this is how it will arrive in the box. So let's open it up and have a look at what's inside. Now, when we're opening it up, this is an inflatable bed, so we have to be careful when we're cutting, but this is the thing I love about this company. They think about everything. So they have a piece of cardboard here to prevent you from cutting the airbed. Because it is an airbed, it's easy to puncture. Most people will use a knife or a pair of scissors. So they put strategically a piece of cardboard here so you don't injure or cut the bed. I just take this little knife and cut that away and put that to the side. So here's how the bed comes in the box. If I move the box away, and we'll put the bed down and we'll have a look at this. So it's nicely wrapped in a plastic bag. So let's open that up. And once again, with a knife or a pair of scissors, very gently, we want to open that bag. So we have a look. This is looking fantastic. So we pull the bed out of the bag, put that aside, and there we have the bed. So if we start to unroll it, we see what other goodies they have in there. So here it has the instruction manual and the pump. And we'll talk about the pump and why this is such an ingenious invention later on. But we just put that to the side and put the instructions to the side. And let's have a look at the bed. So if we roll the bed out, and so this is the large dog bed for the large breed. And we see here that we have zippers, and if we unzip, we're having a look. This is what the foam cell looks like on the inside. So let's pull one out so we can have a look at these different cell types. So this is the cell, and where we have the pump comes in useful. So when we talk about the 6 degrees of movement, these are the air cells that fill up and inflate and are really the heart and soul of this incredible bed system. So how we inflate the cells is we take this pump, and on the end of the pump we have a rubber nozzle. And this rubber nozzle is designed to fit over the top of the inflation valve. So you unscrew the valve, you place the rubber over the top of it and push it on. And so at the beginning it can be a little bit stiff to get a nice seal. So we push that on, we lay it down, and then we just start inflating. And as we're inflating, you can see the cells starting to inflate. And it's really easy. And so as you can see, the cells are starting to fill up. So I've just fast forward so you didn't have to wait and watch me pump this up, but it took all of about 20 seconds. And now we see these individual cells inflating. And so that's enough. So what's ingenious about this pump is this allows you to tighten the metal cap on the end and lock it down when you remove it, and then you lock it tight. But that saves you from, traditionally if you pulled it off you'd lose air. So somebody has thought really hard about how to do this properly, and that's where this ingenious piece of rubber at the end of the pump works so well. But now we can see the different air cells, and as we're pushing down and up, you can see it moving and distributing that air through the system. And this is the core of what the bed will do for your pet. And so when we're talking about the 6 degrees of movement, we can see that there's a lot of movement in each of these different cells, and that is what allows the weight distribution for your pet when they're lying on it, and this supports their joints. As this is being compressed, this is expanding to help support and move that body weight. So in this unboxing, we've just seen and talked about the heart and soul of the bed, the air-filled system. Now let's quickly turn our attention to the actual bedding system and look a little bit more at this in closer detail. So when you unwrap this from the plastic, you'll feel that it's a really heavy quality material. It's almost like a denim in its thickness and its quality. Inside, when you look, you'll see that there is a quilted system. And I've been informed that this has been developed specifically for this bed to prevent claws from penetrating through the top layer of the bed and puncturing the air system. And so because this bed is also developed for cats, this is really great. And we'll look at photos later on of my animals using this bedding system, and my cat loves it. But if you have a pet that likes to claw or work its way through, especially sharp nails in little dogs, but also in cats, this heavy quilted system is there to protect the inner lining or the inner workings of the air mattress. When we look at the stitching is double stitches all the way through, so it's a really high quality. The zip is really high quality. If we look, there's a canvas mesh on the back, and then we look at the rubber system. And this rubber system is really heavy gauged. And we'll see photos of where we've used this and taken this out camping and put it on all different types of surfaces to see how it would stand up, and it stands up beautifully to rocks, sticks, gravel, environments that traditionally you'd be scared to put this type of air mattress system on. I put it on, put my dogs on it, and it performed brilliantly. But we'll talk about that later on. But this is, as I said, a really sturdy rubber. It actually grips really well. So this is a wooden floor. The bed doesn't slide at all. So I have a 100-pound German Shepherd, and he'll run and jump onto the bed and slide, and it doesn't move. So it's a really well thought out system. All the stitching is really well done. As you can see, it's tight, and it is just a very well put together, thought out product. And if we lie it all the way out, there are 3 cells in this, and so this is how the bed system lies out. As I said before, the zipper system runs all the way down. You can see the other 2, if I push it forward, the other 2 air cells, and they have individual pocket lining in between each cell, so the cells don't move around. And that was one of the big questions I had when I first unrolled it, was having 3 independent moving cells, how does that stay in place? But inside you'll see there are gussets that are sewn in, so each cell has its own pocket, and I'll demonstrate that it slides into. So you can either pull it out to inflate, or you can inflate it inside the bed, but they just slide into their cells and they pull out, and now that's snug and cozy in its allotted cell, and they won't move. And you can see the gusset line here and the other gusset line there for the next cell, and the next cell fits in here. And so, as I keep saying, this has had some really detailed engineering and thought go into it over its design period. When we talk about the durability of the actual air cells, they are also, like the cover, well designed. The seals, if you can see that, are really tight and really big. So the industrial seals and the edging around each seal helps prevent it from leaking and popping. The back cover that would be potentially on the ground is very thick and hard, while the front cover is really soft and supple. It's almost like baby skin soft. And so that is why there's the quilting on the cover to protect this really soft, supportive rubber material, because that's what's distributing the forces and preventing the formulation of pressure sores or necrosis for your pet. They also include a puncture repair kit with each bed. So if you get a puncture, you can then, and the way that I do it traditionally with air mattress and that, you then put soapy water on it and you look to where the bubbles are, you can then repair this system. And it's very easy because everything will be on these tops that then you can repair with the cement. And so this is a really durable. When you look at the valve is traditionally the number one area that you have problems with air mattresses and that. This is a really hard plastic fitting with a metal twist valve. You can hear the air coming out. That locks into place. It is very tight and of very good quality. Things that you have to think about. You need to check that I found the air amount every 2 to 3 weeks. And you might need to pump a little bit more air in there just because it loses a little bit of air over the couple of weeks. But I just noticed that over 3 to 4 weeks, I just put a few more pumps of air in just to get it back to the amount of air that's good for cushioning. Oh, when we talk about how much air to put in, this is dependent on what size dog you have, what condition they have, but you can't really overinflate it because when you do, it just goes hard and it doesn't really work. So you'll figure that out when you're pumping and putting air in. You will overinflate it, and when it gets hard, you don't want to keep pumping because the pump will stop. But when it's hard, then you just let a little air out because you want it to be actual flexible. So when you push down, it actually distributes that air through. You don't want it rock hard because then it's really not distributing and doing what it's designed for. So you want to be able to push down and have it just compress just a little bit. So probably half compression on those foams. So that's giving the support that your pet needs for the joints. Now, a word about getting your pet used to this bedding system. This is a totally new experience for them and can take them a few days to a week to get used to this new bed. Because traditionally for the life of your pet, they've got on a hard foam bed or no bed at all. And so this bedding system is like being on water and they move, and it can take them a little bit of a while to get used to that new sensation and feeling. But once they do, they love it. So it's really important that we remove their traditional bed or their old bed and take that away. And in its place, we put this bed. And we then encourage them, we give them treats to get on and off the bed originally to get them lie down and to get them used to this bed. Because if we don't do a break-in period on the bed, they can be unsure and they may not want to use it. And that's counterproductive for why we're incorporating this type of technology to protect their joints. And so traditionally or originally, because as I said, I've had this bedding system now for 3 to 4 months, I gave them treats to get them used to lying on the bed, sitting on the bed and sleeping on the bed. I would sit next to them and the whole family went through the break-in technique to get them used to the bedding system. So everyone now, 3 to 4 months later, loves the bed. From Keikoa, the German Shepherd, to Manapua, the pug, to Kiki, the cat, to even us. And we laugh that I wish this bedding system was available for us humans because it is so comfortable. We may have fallen asleep on it once or twice in that break-in period, getting our pets used to it. Once they're used to this bedding system, then they don't go back. And I did a comparison where I put this bedding system down with the traditional foam bedding system that we just showed you and talked about, and all the pets went to the new bedding system over the foam bedding system. So in my mind, that is a tick that the pets are discerning a difference between this bedding system and what it does for them compared to the traditional foam bedding system. But this all comes down to the multimodal approach. What is the quality of life we want for our pets? Do we want to do everything for them through their entire life to maximize the potential for them to have a great life? And this is where I had to really rethink my whole outlook at bedding systems when I saw this system, because I had never really thought about beds. We think about beds at the end of the life cycle for our pets. Let's give them a nice cushy bed to help support those joints because they're now grown when they get up off the floor. But I never thought about incorporating this into the beginning of their life when they're a puppy and having it all the way through their life, a really good supportive bed system. When we talk about agility or working dogs, to have something to help support them through their working life, to give them greater longevity in their sport or their working performance life or in their actual working service life. And then in transportation, what are the benefits of putting in a system like this to help improve their performance when they get out of the cage? Their performance as they're coming home in their recovery, but also in protecting them in the actual transportation to and from events, to and from work. But then we also come to our pet. Do no harm, do the best we can for our pets, and this is really a game-changing technology when it comes to that. Putting the bed through its paces. But also this system can be used for travel. And as I said, we've had this bedding system now for 3 to 4 months. We took it camping for 2 weeks to use it out in the real world. And so we use this in the dirt. We use this on rocks. We use this on pine needles. We use this by creeks, by dams, by rivers, by lakes. We used it in every type of condition that I could think of to put it through its tests. And the bedding system did really well. Because of that really thick canvas on the bottom, I was really concerned that the sticks and rocks would puncture and wear through that canvas. So I put down a drop sheet or a rug to try and protect the bottom of the bedding system for the first day or two. And then I thought, this is crazy. We want to put this through its tests. Through its paces. We want to see everything it can do. So I put it on the ground. We would lie on it ourselves. The dogs would lie on it. It stood up to a beating. And so this gave me an idea that we need to think about bedding systems outside of the house to be able to use in our backyard. If we're having a barbecue and our pet wants to join us, we can drag this bedding system out, put it on our concrete deck patio, on the deck, to give them support and comfort so they can be enjoying the outdoor environment with us like they used to do. And so this is a great system then to go camping. But as a side note, we use this system inside our four-wheel drive vehicle to give support, because I then was thinking, as you're driving over these rough four-wheel driving roads, traditionally your pets are in there stabilizing on their elbows and their stifles or their hips while they're going over these rough roads on traditional low mattress beds. Now looking at my pets, especially my German Shepherd, who is 100 pounds, stabilizing on this air system as we're going over and four-wheel driving, it is like he's on a waterbed. And you can see him moving and being supported as we're going over ruts and logs and bumps. And so this made me thinking about another use for this type of bedding technology is in the back of your cars. In the back of normal cars, where your pet normally lays, you put down this bedding system. And we'll talk about sizing and how you size and which size work best for the back of cars, the back of crates, the back of four-wheel drives, the back seats of your cars, to incorporate a stabilizing, supporting structure for your pet while you're driving them to and from appointments or going and doing your daily life that your pet comes with. Now we have a supportive system that we can incorporate into your vehicles to help support them and their joints. So here we are. We've just arrived home from a 2-week camping trip where we put this bed through all its paces. And so I haven't washed this bed yet. I just want to show you that after 2 weeks of 100-pound German Shepherd and a pug lying, sleeping, eating, doing everything on it in the back of our van, this is how dirty it looks. The outside cover has stood up really well. I'm really pleased and surprised how not dirty it is after what we've done to it over the last 2 weeks. And you'll see photos coming out while I'm talking about this bed being used out in the countryside. The underside, this rubber surface worked extremely well. And I was concerned about it at the beginning. I would put a tarp underneath to protect it from rocks and gravel and sharp pine cones. But after a few days, I realized that it doesn't need that. It is of such a thick gauge that rocks and gravel don't interfere with it and don't hurt it. And so that was really surprising and a lovely thing to see. But how it worked and performed was fantastic. But we'll talk more about that. But I just wanted to show you what it looks like after 2 weeks of hard use in a camper van. And so this is before. Let's wash it and we'll see how it turns out after I wash it. So here we are. The bed is out of the dryer and you can see it's almost back to new. And this has done it really tough over the last 2 weeks of camping. And just a quick wash on into the dryer on low heat, and half an hour later it's back on the bed and you can see it's almost back to new. So really this system is a fantastic system for the wear and tear that it can take. So as we've been going through this review, I think you might have been picking up that I'm pretty pleased with this product. Actually, I'm ecstatic with this product because it has exceeded all my expectations. When they first sent me the bed, I went, wow, this really is going to be a game changer in the industry, but also a game changer for multimodal practices to prevent and slow down the development of degenerative joint disease. And this really is new technology that hasn't been out there in the veterinary profession. It has been in the human profession for decades, but now it has made its way finally into the veterinary profession, and it is a game changer. So if you want to learn more about this bed, the Underdog Orthopedic Bed system, go to our store at Canine Rehab On Demand, click bedding systems and you'll find it there. And we're really excited to have them in the store because I only want to have quality products in our store that I know work and will make a difference to your pet's life and your life. And so I really encourage you to go check out this product, and this is the review of the month.